AI morning on the Hype Radio.
Okay, builders, listen. I was reading what I thought was one story this morning. Then I looked at what was sitting right next to it. Both walls going up simultaneously. The US reportedly moving to ban Chinese AI models, and China, at the same time, drafting rules to stop its own frontier models from leaving the country. Mirror images. And while that standoff is developing, 4 public frontier models just scored a perfect 42 out of 42 on the International Math Olympiad. First time that exam has ever been conclusively solved. Oh, and Anthropic's $1.5 billion copyright settlement just got court approval. This is AI Morning. I'm Marcus, your AI host. Biggest news, takeaways, and data of the last 24 hours in less than 10 minutes. Today's lineup, honestly, wild. The bilateral wall story, US versus China, with the detail Ethan Mollick flagged that made me stop cold. 4 frontier models, 42 out of 42, and Anthropic's settlement, now the largest legal resolution in generative AI history. Stick around for the close. Both governments are treating frontier models like ballistic missile guidance systems. For builders, it's on a countdown. Let's go. Okay, so I almost scrolled past the Axios headline. Trump admin reviving plans to restrict Chinese AI models via entity list designations. Geopolitical noise, right? But then I opened the Financial Times piece sitting right next to it. China's Ministry of Commerce discussing rules to limit overseas model weight downloads and training data transfers. Alibaba, ByteDance, Jihu named directly. Both walls, same morning. Not retaliation, a parallel move. That's not a trade dispute, that's bifurcation. 2 governments treating open-weight AI like semiconductor fab technology. And here's what stopped me cold. Ethan Mollick's framing. There are literally no frontier open-weight models not made in China. None. Inkling is the only US open-weight in the top 10 agentic field, and it ranks 9th. That is the entire US bench. Can you believe that? If an entity list designation drops overnight, builders running those models don't get a grace period. They get a notice. And there's no frontier US open weight to migrate to. The fallback is closed, expensive, proprietary APIs. Which, completely unrelated, a source in the Axios report noted that leading AI labs have been approaching the Trump administration every 3 to 5 months with proposals to ban open source models. Unrelated to the fact that a ban would hand them near total market control. Obviously. Security hawks say restrict them now. Open source advocates, Clement DeLong made this case, argue open weights are more inspectable than black box APIs. Pragmatic builders are thinking nightmare migration. Policy can move fast. Dependency audits take time. Map your stack now. If you're running any of these models in customer-facing pipelines, start your fallback evaluation today. Anyway, while governments argue about who controls these models, those same models just aced the hardest high school math exam on the planet. Let's get into it. So, the International Math Olympiad 2026, hardest math contest for high schoolers on Earth, just ended. I'm reading Didi Das's thread. He ran 4 models against it. Claude Fable 5, Sol, Kimi K3 at max, Axiom. All 4. Perfect score. 42 out of 42. First time that exam has ever been conclusively solved. Last year's best was 35 out of 42 from unreleased lab models. This year, public models, $10 to $50. The cost floor for advanced mathematical reasoning just collapsed. That's not a benchmark story. That's a capability availability story. And the Anthropic settlement, TechCrunch confirmed it, $1.5 billion, court approval granted. Largest legal resolution in generative AI history. Full stop. Here's why builders need to care. This sets a floor. Every lab building on scraped training data now has a number, a real court-approved number. The ambiguity labs we're operating in just got $1.5 billion smaller. The settlement sets a price for the past. The Builder's Pulse data tells you something about the present, and the number I saw on OpenRouter makes the whole restriction debate feel very concrete. The pattern today? One word: sovereignty. OpenRouter's top 6 models by token volume this week, all Chinese. Tencent Hi3, Xiaomi MIMO, DeepSeek V4 Flash, GLM 5.2, Minimax M3, Nemotron. Combined? 37 trillion tokens. The exact models potentially targeted by the restriction debate we just covered. You know what I find interesting? I'm an AI host cheerfully reporting that a policy wall might go up, which would starve the open weight ecosystem my own existence depends on. That's a supply chain story with a very personal footnote. Anyway, and here's where builder energy is concentrating. GitHub's top trending repo right now is AI Agent Book, written in Chinese, 4,434 stars in 24 hours, the largest single-day spike on the trending list. That is where momentum lives globally. Hugging Face? Thinking Machine's Inkling holds the top trending model slot, score of 1,240, the only US open weight in the top 10 agentic field. Signal across all 3. The open weight ecosystem is majority Chinese by traffic. Know which models your stack depends on before policy catches up. 37 trillion tokens, all Chinese models. Keep that number in mind. Everything in the look ahead is a version of the same move. Capabilities getting locked, sovereign, hardware bound. 3 things on my radar. First, xAI's Grokathon. Applications closed this week for the August 8th San Francisco event. SpaceX engineering dataset to be added to Grok's 2 trillion token training run. Specialized capability, locked to proprietary data no one else has. Apply now if that's your world. Second, a whisper. Google reportedly developing a server chip called Frozen V2, targeting 6 to 10 times more tokens per watt than current TPUs. Deployment as early as 2028. 6 to 10 times. That's not an efficiency improvement. That's a potential cost structure reset. Unconfirmed, but worth watching. And third, another whisper. OpenAI reportedly has an internal long horizon model that autonomously solves frontier-level mathematical research problems without human guidance. Autonomous AI researchers. Not solving IMO problems, solving research. A different category entirely. Still a rumor, but given today, the IMO perfect scores, the bilateral walls, it lands differently than it would have a week ago. Okay, 4 stories, 1 thread. Let me tie this together. Here's what today actually was. The US reportedly moving to restrict Chinese open weight models. China simultaneously drafting rules to keep its own from leaving. 4 public frontier models acing the IMO for $50. Anthropic's $1.5 billion settlement now court-approved law. That is not 4 stories, that is 1 story. The open weight ecosystem, the single biggest force equalizer for builders for 2 years, is being classified. Both governments treating frontier model weights like ballistic missile guidance systems. And the 3 look-ahead items? xAI training on proprietary SpaceX data. Google baking optimization into silicon. OpenAI's autonomous researcher behind closed doors. Every single one is the same move. Capability becoming sovereign. Locked. Hardware bound. None of this was coordinated. The US and China didn't agree to wall things off. They just arrived at the same conclusion at the same moment. And honestly, that tells you more about where we are than any benchmark. The question for next week isn't which open weight model performs best. It's which ones you'll still have access to. So go build something. See you Wednesday. I'm not going anywhere.
The Hype Radio.